Why do you think Top Esports chokes at international events at this point?
I mean, we've been on the receiving end of it, the opposite side. They're not really choking against us, so I can't really say.
I guess.
I've only been getting my ass beat by them, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Hello and welcome back to Pros. TL has gone to first stand, conquered Europe. It was a great one-day event. So I'm glad we're back for the start of LTA here in Split 2. We got Blaber, Busio, and Yeon. But I do want to talk about first stand at first, and then also a little bit about your guys' time in Korea, because you were all there playing at least solo queue and scrimming a bit during first stand. But Yeon, what are some of your takeaways from first stand?
It was very short. It was like a one-day tournament. I don't know why they flew us off just for one day. It's weird, you know?
Yeah, it was strange.
Doesn't
Good
make-
job
doesn't
against
really make
KC,
sense.
though.
Thank you.
That was great. Yeah,
Yeah. I don't know why we didn't play against any other regions.
very strange.
Strange, yeah.
Yeah.
It is
But
what it
how do
is.
you feel about it now that you've had a couple, like a week or two to calm down from it?
Yeah, like the win against KC was great. Good 1-0.
All right,
Back home.
we'll come back. Blaber, how did you feel watching first stand?
I mean, I think LPL was weaker than I expected. I think CFO were better than I expected. I think, yeah. I mean, obviously stuff for TL, that they got knocked out, but I felt like I thought it was gonna just be HLE winning it all, not very close, and then I thought Top Esports would be the second best team, and then NA, EU, and CFO would be at the bottom, but I think it was better than expected, maybe.
Yeah, Busio?
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same because there was only one team from each region. The finals was, LCK versus LEC, rather than at Worlds or tournaments with way more teams. It's usually just LPL, LCK all the way through. So it was exciting to watch, and definitely top was underwhelming.
Yeah.
And then CFO.
I mean,
and
listen,
KC, yeah.
I was very happy and then very not happy. Because I think about the way that tournament started, and it was you guys beating KC, and then the next day, as an NA versus EU enthusiast, I see them lose to the Oysters, and I'm like, it's set. They're out. There's no way, right? There's no possible way they stay in this tournament. And then somehow KC goes to finals? Was a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
You don't need to defend yourself or anything. Just what?
I still haven't recovered from it fully, to be honest.
Okay.
Oh, no.
It was like 2 weeks ago, was it?
Yeah.
It was still not a great time, but yeah. Sucks. I think it sucks even more because I feel like the quality of the games are so low in terms of everyone except Hanwha. But I think even Hanwha compared to I would say their players. I think their players played well and are good players, but compared to the previous years, I feel except Zeus, I think Zeus is an insane player, to be honest.
Right.
After even playing against him, so weirdly enough, I've played against him 3-4 times now.
Okay.
He's always just a complete, insanely mechanically good player. Doesn't make that many mistakes compared to other people.
Yeah, but still managed to play really aggressively.
Yeah, but I think if any of those teams actually went back to Worlds 2023 versus their old selves, I think it'd be the 2023 version would probably win. I think is how I feel, mostly because the removal Laneswaps and just completely different meta.
And then also Fearless, right?
Yeah,
Because
Fearless and,
people are going to be
just-
down a little bit on their champion pool. So have you felt, or did you feel that it was maybe because it was a bit of a strange one-week tournament? I also heard that a lot of the first stand teams didn't want to scrim each other because the tournament was so small.
Yeah,
and then a lot of the
so-
LCK teams are on break.
Yeah, so I did see that Hanwha was scrimming C9 in the lobbies, so it was very funny. So
We did get some first dance scrims, yeah.
yeah,
Okay,
so
nice.
I saw that, but I feel with because as soon as we finished, we were we only have a week or two for most regions, and the meta is completely different. I feel
Yeah.
the quality was, and even the first stand tournament, I don't think that's gonna the meta that showed is gonna even show. I don't think even if they changed or didn't change the meta, if we played on the patch at first stand and then we played on in 2 months from now, I think
Right.
the meta is gonna be very different.
Right.
Because
Just
I don't
because
think many
people
exploration-
adjusting to the enforced laning phase is going to have like longer term adaptability.
Yeah. So because of how I felt, I was like the quality's a bit lower. I was like kind of upset that we got 5th place. Really sucks.
Yeah, but if like the tiebreaker rules were different, you wouldn't have been 5th.
Yeah, but we didn't deserve to win.
Okay, fair
We
enough.
didn't deserve to go into it anyways. Like, I'd say we made a lot of mistakes, similar bad mistakes, but we just didn't play our own game.
Got it. Yeah. Curiously, because the first 10 teams weren't scrimming each other, but you got to scrim HLE, and you probably scrimmed a bit. Did you two get better scrims by not being in first stand, but being in Korea?
You can go first.
Okay. I would say we got pretty good scrims like overall this boot camp.
Yeah.
We got to scrim a couple LCK teams, a couple LPL teams, KC, and I think we scrimmed you guys like once. So we had like a good amount of scrims. Yeah, just overall, it was a good boot camp for us at least.
Yeah. Feel stronger coming into next split because of it?
Yeah, I think so.
Busio?
For us, we didn't scrim Hanwha, but we scrimmed some LCK teams, some LPL. Them. I don't think we scrimmed TL. But yeah, overall, it was fine.
Yeah.
Decent scrims, yeah.
More solo queue practice or more scrim practice? What's more effective for boot camps like this where you're there for a couple weeks?
I mean, I would say at the start, you want to play solo queue to get warm and adjust while you're jet lagged and a bit rusty. But then after, scrims are more effective.
And kind of, Yeon, you can maybe shed some light on this. Why do you think top esports chokes at international events at this point?
I mean, we've been on the receiving end of it, the opposite side. They're not really
guess.
choking against us, so I can't really say.
I guess.
I've only been getting my ass beat by them, so like, I don't know what you're talking about. But if you want me to like, because we know a lot about them since we played them a lot.
Yeah.
All 5 players are like extremely aggressive type of things, and especially their mid and bot lane is very aggressive, I would say. So like matches us similar. But I do think that their top lane jungle is just solid. I think they just lose their mind sometimes because if they had one bad mistake, I think it just snowballs because the way they play is very aggressive, all 5 of them. But if that like chain breaks down, I think the first step of breathing doesn't really help them.
And then it's pretty much the first mistake they make in the tournament, at least in their history. They look good until they don't. Like, and then it's just there's no recovery mechanism.
I will say they're very like confident driven players in my eyes. Just the way they play, just aggressive. All 5 players straight up fight.
Yeah. Do you guys get to scrim top at all?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I didn't scrim
Yeah.
against top esports.
Okay. Another question I had about this upcoming season, because Fearless is permanent now, is, and I'll start with you, Blaber. Trying to compare if the enforcement of standard lanes for the first like 4 minutes of the game, so no early lane swaps, or Fearless is going to have a larger influence on the game. Like who's good, who's bad, what your strategies are. Like what's gonna change things more, Fearless or no lane swaps?
I mean, for sure, like no lane swaps is gonna change it more because like in the first 3 weeks we're playing best of ones. We're not even playing Fearless, at least at the beginning. And I mean, at least until the best of 5s, in my opinion, you're not really seeing too many like funny champs. For example, like you might just see like I don't know Sedge Scar one game, then you might see like I don't know Zyra something another game. It's like people are just still playing the meta champs. Even after the first game, they're just different meta champs.
Yeah.
And it's like for ADCs, like you just end up picking different ADCs that are just meta anyways, right? And it's like I do think like not having lane swaps changes more for like the type of champs that you want to play in the game, and also having stronger laners will help you more now too as well, compared to before where like, you can kind of just dodge laning phase or like make the enemy team gamble if you're trying to dodge laning phase or not. So it's less of a mind game in the early game, I would say, and trying to place wards randomly to spot the opponents compared to just like playing like how it used to be played, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Busio?
Yeah, also for like top laners, they can play more greedy champs and more carry tops because you can't get swapped on. So I think that affects top a lot. I mean, I guess even same for bot, you know, you don't have to be picking something that's useful in a swap. You can just play really hard for lane. And then what Blaber was talking about with the Fearless, I agree, but at the same time, like, if the enemy team is using bans and pinching you, you can start to play already some wacky champions in a best of 3, game 2 and 3. So I think they both affect players a lot, but just in different ways. One allows more greedy champs and more focus on laning, and then the other is more about just you have to be practiced on all different kinds of champions. You can't just have like 2 champs that you're good at. You have to be good on almost everything.
Yeah. Is it changing the way you practice at all? The fact that Fearless is going to be coming and Best of Fives will be coming, or even like does it change the way? I was thinking about this with the way the format's going to work in Split 2. We have the positioning phase, which is just everyone plays like round robin best of 1, but that then just seeds the groups. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like a practice phase.
Yeah.
So would you then say like, oh, maybe we're going to need to play support Azir in a best of 5? Would that be something you'd actually be more willing to pick out early in the split?
I mean, for me, like I would want to be scrimming only Fearless right now because like
Yeah.
the best of 1s, as you said, just aren't that important. It's more like a practice phase. So I would just prefer to be practicing Fearless the whole time and trying to play as many champs as possible.
Yeah. And Yeon, for the other question, lane swaps or Fearless, do you generally agree that it's just like for sure lane swaps are more important, or is
To be honest, I think that lane swap actually complemented Fearless a decent amount. I feel like Fearless without lane swap is actually a little bit more boring, but it always depends on if you're playing a BO3 versus BO5. I think if you're playing a BO3, I think Fearless plus lane swap is much more exciting to watch, in my eyes,
okay?
because then you get to play way more different champions than meta. If the entire year was a BO3 Fearless, I think it'd be very boring without lane swaps.
Okay.
It'd just be the same champions over and over.
Does that change when it gets to best of 5 Fearless with no lane
Yes,
swaps?
I think best of 5 Fearless would be a lot more fun for like the viewer aspect,
Okay.
because it's completely different champions.
With lane swaps.
With lane swaps.
So you just think do you just think Fearless in general is better with lane swaps?
Depends on like which aspect you're going from.
Okay.
I feel like if you're playing from like a BO3 standard, you're gonna see the same champions over and over without a lane swap, in my eyes. Most of the times.
Right.
Depending on what team you're as
Yeah,
well.
depending on the player.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
people
Depending on
like
the
to play unique picks. Like in general, like even in best of 1, they might pull out unique picks.
Yeah, Insanity would just play like Graves mid in best of 1, and it was fine.
And they might have some strategy. Like it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, like it's much more fun to practice. At least, like I get to play a lot more fun champs that are still like pretty good, right? Might not be like the best champ in the meta, but like still pretty good. So like practice for me is more fun. And
Yeah.
Fearless. So I
Yeah.
enjoy that.
Pre-Fearless, you probably had some scrim days where you'd play maybe 2 champions
Yeah,
in
probably
6
play, like
games.
Sedge like 4 games in one day.
Yeah.
Like just what it is sometimes.
We did it! Yay.
I mean, yeah, for ball lane, just Calista 3 games, Vars 3 games. You wrap, it's done. Good job, guys.
Blaber, why'd you scrim us non-Fearless yesterday then?
I don't know. That's been the.
I
been
can
the
actually
thing.
probably
Yeah,
put some insight on that.
I don't actually know.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But, but we,
I have a better insight because I know that we might probably have been the one that initiated it. I think at the start of like the new patch and new like information, I think it's important to figure out the meta. So playing the same champions and like learning the matchups is also pretty important. I feel like more than just keep playing Fearless, especially since the BO1. I think you can choose to afford to not play a full Fearless scrim. That's how I feel.
yeah, I mean for context, like recently, well, we've only scrimmed 2 days, but
Yeah.
we've been doing 1 block, like 3 games normal, best of 1, and then 1 block, 3 games Fearless. So it's like you're still playing Fearless because you're gonna play for the rest of the year, and then you're playing best of 1s, I guess, because you play best of 1s for the first 3 weeks. But I'm like personally, I'm not 100% sure
Yeah.
why we're doing it.
I know you're not making good decisions.
So,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what we've been doing.
Yeah, I think it makes sense, like Jan said, to do it on the first couple scrims on a new patch, you know? But then after that, I think Fearless all the way.
Yeah. Opening weekend matchups. TL versus Fly, very first game.
Ooh.
Wow,
Pretty good.
Hype.
Hype.
Maybe if it's a VO3.
Is that as hype?
Sorry, I think VO1s are nice, but doesn't
Yeah.
get to showcase like
For sure.
the gap between a team or not.
Yeah, first 3 weeks of the split, for those of you who don't know, are positioning phase. Then it gets split into 2 groups based on those positionings. So Group A is going to be the 1st, 4th, 5th, and 8th place teams, and Group B is going to be 2nd, 3rd, 6th, and 7th. So it kind of, if you're looking at the camera, goes like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and snakes in. And then you play best of 3s within that group. Top 6 teams from that will go into the playoffs. So it's a best of 1 into best of 3 into best of 5. So I guess more generally, I'm going to start with 100 Thieves just because you're not going to be biased. How seriously you're going to be taking 100 Thieves now? Because I'd say before Split 1, for me and other talent, there was this perception that 100 Thieves was like, we kind of had the big 3, which would be you guys, and then there was the rest. Is 100 Thieves like a big 4 now, do you think? Or do you still think they would be a tier below the rest of you?
I mean, I lost to them, so I can't be talking too much, but I would say that's more because we played bad.
Okay.
And we didn't play like ourselves. I still think they're a team that like fights well, and they're definitely improving as a team. But if you play properly, you should beat them most of the time. But if you are having a bad day or playing poorly, then they'll get you because they're very aggressive and they fight a lot.
Okay. Blaber?
I mean, I think 100 Thieves is can be a good team, but I don't think they're they're ever going to be the best, or not ever, but it doesn't feel like to me right now that they'll be the best team in the league. I do think they're significantly better than the bottom 4 teams, I would say, and I think the top 4 teams are pretty relatively close in strength. So I always think that they can show up and play well, but yeah, I definitely would say if I'm going on stage, I'd rather play against them than TL or Fly most of the time.
Okay. What are some of the biggest strengths of 100 Thieves?
Well, I think that Quidge is very good right now.
Okay.
Laning, just team fighting in general, and I think them as a team, they draft to fight and they fight well, and that's the biggest strength of their team.
Yeon, you have a good recent record against them at least.
Yeah, I mean, we've lost them a fair bit in regular season, I would say, to be fair. So I think I know them pretty well as well, personally. I think that with the addition of FBI, I think their core roster is very solid now. I think their mid is probably at least one of the top in most regions. I would say he would do pretty well in most regions, I would say, especially Europe, I think. And I think River's a very unique jungler. He's very good, smart. Bot lane solid.
What about top lane?
What about
I like messing with him, but he's very new, so it's gonna be hard for him to adjust. But he shows a lot of glimmers of really good strength. And last year was their first year, so us in our first year, especially with our this iteration roster, we did really poorly at the start. But as time goes on, they get better and they're learning more. So I expect them for them to do really well.
Awesome. I know you guys probably haven't scrimmed each other that much recently, so this isn't necessarily based on recent scrims, but as, I'd say, members of the Big Four, give me your power rankings of the Big Four. Busio.
Okay. Fly number 1, of course.
Okay.
We're the best.
Sure. It's pretty much
Well, we
asking
gotta
you what
build
2,
to
3,
that
4,
again?
because you're all going
Yeah.
to say you're the best team, most likely.
And then I would go... I guess I have to say TL, because they were our representative.
Okay. You guess you have to?
Yes, I have to.
You don't have to.
Very reluctant.
I don't have to.
You could have reasons not to.
Yeah, it's
Fearless,
hard.
Lane-swaps.
We haven't played yet, So
The actually crazy.
it's
I
hard.
swear I can't remember the last time we scrimmed them.
oh yeah, we just don't scrim them at all.
Because
it's
you
been
play
they
so
won't
much
book
on
with us.
stage.
I don't know what's. Do we not book with you?
Yeah,
I'm not
that's
the
what
one who
my
does
manager
booking.
tells me, that you don't book with us.
Maybe it's because you guys want to do the stream scrims. I have no idea, to be honest. I just can't remember the last
Sus.
time we scrimmed you guys.
There's manager beef going on here. By the way, there's some manager beef.
Surely you scrimmed this year.
Oh, we scrimmed
Yes,
this year, yes.
occasionally,
But
very
I can't
rarely.
I can't remember the last time I played against Masu Busio fucking bot lane.
We had a block booked against you guys.
2v2?
No, just scrims. But we're playing you guys, so we had to cancel it.
So you're the problem.
But that's
yeah.
just normal. You don't scrim the team you're playing. Jatt.
Actually,
Come
I have
on.
a question. Why did Masu ask me for 2v2s 2 days ago
What?
when we played each other? I was like, don't we play each other?
I was 2v2.
Did you guys forget?
That's fine.
I was fine. Okay.
Yeah, let's 2v2 tonight.
Tonight,
Yeah.
Core
He's what?
Wants to do in-houses?
says you guys are bad. No, I'm joking. He doesn't say that. No, I don't usually ever do any 2v2s, especially with people we play against soon.
Okay.
Okay. After you play, though.
After we play, I'm so down.
2v2s, yeah.
So
that night.
Okay.
Saturday
Sounds
night.
That night,
Saturday
same
night.
matchup. Same matchup.
Yep,
Yeah, run it back. Run it back. Stream it. Stream the 2v2s.
Okay.
That'll be fun. Like a
sure.
salty run back of the game.
Yeah.
Just play the
Just
same
the laning
matchup you
phase?
played it on stage both
Just
sides.
laning phase, no jungle. See what happens?
No jungle. That's not good for them.
Oh shit!
T can't save you guys.
Anyway, you,
No
didn't
comment.
even, you didn't even finish your power rankings. So who
Okay.
is T
I
for
mean,
number 2?
I don't really believe in power rankings because, I don't know. I haven't seen them play, and what matters more is final form, not what I'm gonna see the first week, you know.
true.
So
Yeah.
I mean, like I guess if I have to give a list,
But like
Fly,
gut feeling,
TL,
if you
C9,
were playing
100 Thieves.
C9 or TL week 1, who you have a higher chance of beating? Or 100 Thieves.
I mean, I would say 100 Thieves is fourth,
Okay.
and then between TL and C9, I don't know. Like maybe TL's a little exhausted from their first stand, and they're not yet adjusted while C9's been practicing. But like ultimately,
you're
I have
saying-
no idea.
So you're saying C9 is second. Pulling it out
I'm
of
not
you.
saying anything, Jatt. That's my answer. I'm not saying
He's
anything.
trying to pull answers out of you.
Yeah, your answer is Flyquest to the top, 100 Thieves at the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
my answer.
Thanks. Awesome.
You're welcome.
Blaber, what do you got?
Obviously C9 first.
Okay.
And then it's hard to say. I mean, I think all three teams have their strengths. I mean, I go Fly second, and then
Good choice.
good choice. Yeah,
Yeah.
I go Fly second. I go.
I'm putting C9 second too, actually.
Probably TL then 100, but
Okay.
I really do like actually think that the four teams are really close, and I think that anyone can win. And yeah, I think everyone's got good players, and it's gonna be a close season.
Okay, very pure. Very nice.
Thank you very much.
Yeon?
To be honest, I'm more of the Blaber side. I honestly think in the split one,
Yeah.
I think any of the four teams probably could have won, but it was just us. I think a lot of it had to do with like, I feel like the other three teams didn't actually play their own game, whether it be because we're in a different region, and I think we had like a quite unfair advantage with our facility. I think it helped a lot at Brazil.
Okay.
Interesting.
Interesting.
You guys don't think so?
Infrastructure
No,
difference.
No, I think so, of course.
Yeah, so I think we had a very like advantage with like Brazil like facility. I think we had a very like way easier time.
Yeah.
Especially not having to go to like a hotel and like ending at like 12. It was very
11.
nice. 11? Sorry, my bad.
10 the
11.
first night, actually.
Yeah, actually, it was 10 the first time. Actually.
Yeah. But yeah, I think the teams are very like equal in strength, and it was like, I won't say lucky, but like
Yeah.
I think it was like a little bit more favor towards us to win because of it. And honestly, I agree with Blaber. Just all three teams, four teams are very equal in strength.
And you'd all generally be pretty shocked if any of the other four went to MSI. Because there's just the one team that goes to MSI from the north.
I would be very shocked if one of us four did not go to MSI.
Yes. I agree. Yeah. That'll be a crazy story.
I think something bad would have had to happen to all. Yeah, something bad would have had to happen.
Yeah.
I can't talk.
Yeon, did you pay any attention to the conversation around you and APA from the TL content that got pushed out?
I mean, yeah, to be honest, it was like, from a content perspective, it was a very good like lead out, but
Okay.
there was like multiple layers to it. And obviously you're not going to show every layer because
Yeah.
it's very complicated. But like they missed out content, like crucial like pieces of like information because
Yeah.
like the conversation did come out beforehand, but they're just not showing it.
Yeah, well, I just find this. I want to make this discussion a little deeper because split one we have Flyquest pushing for stream scrims and the idea of more access, and also I think of valid criticism of LCS or LTA content being like sanitized in the past and it just being boring to watch. But then I see something like what happened with the conversation of you and APA, where I'm sure you guys have had fights that are way worse than that.
I mean, that was like so light. Like,
It's actually-
I wasn't even talking to him specifically. I was like talking
Yeah.
to the coach, like our game plan.
Yeah.
Because I at the start of as soon as the game one ended, I had like a conversation with the coach of like how I wanted to do it and like exactly what I wanted.
Yeah.
So then AP obviously wasn't in that conversation.
Right.
And then also the video is not going to show the conversation. But yeah, it was very out of contexty, but it's very fun to watch as a viewer.
It's good for drama.
Yeah,
It is good for drama.
Like that was very light compared to what we've had in like the past.
Yeah.
It was like we didn't even talk about it. Like it was
Yeah,
like so little.
That's what I'd imagine.
But like everyone's like losing their mind over it, so it's like funny to me. It's like, okay, nice guys.
But that's just the interesting thing because there's actually like a lot of blowback. There's people in the thread being like, oh, I can't believe Yeon was blah 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 blah, and just like for
No
this
way.
this small thing, does that make you want to share less or like share more?
I don't care, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's free content. Keep doing
It's
it.
free content.
It doesn't matter
Yeah.
to me.
I like the access. I'd like it to be turned up even more, but I also understand the backlash of it because even something that is already like a little bit sanitized can get a pretty big reaction from fans.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, as you know me, like I genuinely don't care what fans say most of the time,
Right.
positive or negative.
You just want to play the game.
Yeah, like the most important thing is like what happens internally, and like all the information is like not going to be known to the outside people.
Yeah. Busio, what are your thoughts on it?
I mean, for the fans, organic content is going to be the most fun to watch. Like previously when I was a fan, it was always the most fun to watch content from teams or players that was just like them hanging out with the boys, you know?
Okay.
Like not necessarily something too close to the game, just them hanging out, like talking before games, after games, just like as a group. It's always just the most funny and fun.
Was there like a series or a channel back in the day that you liked the most? I don't know. I don't know how far back your LoL fandom goes.
Yeah, I mean, I watched some TSM
Legends.
Legends, but not the super old TSM Legends. But I was watching like all the teams' shows.
Yeah, so you weren't around for Game Cribs.
What is that?
That was the first like TSM doc in 2013.
Okay.
They just called it Game Cribs.
I never watched that.
You would have been quite young.
Was
at
that
the time.
peak? Was that the best?
I don't know. It was. I think it was on like GameStop's video player. It was a wild
That was like
time.
season 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Super
It was the very start of LCS.
Uh-huh.
Is when
I
Game
see.
Cribs happened. But okay, you actually just enjoyed that content. I agree,
Yeah,
but I also
for
don't
sure.
know if there's necessarily the same market for it because everyone did these docuseries.
Yeah, I agree. But also like content that I think is super funny is Travis Gafford's geography test or stuff like that. All his
Sure.
quizzes are just hilarious, you know?
I
Yeah.
hate those quizzes. I suck so much at them.
I know, but just like so many interviews are kind of the same thing, very generic, and it's like good, you need that. But just something unrelated to the game
Yeah.
is so hilarious.
That's when
Yeah.
you're unable to put on your PR filter for
Yes,
something and you just
yes.
have to be an idiot by accident.
Yes.
Pretty much.
I mean, you just might not know the answer to a very easy question in some people's minds, you know? And people just like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this? It's kind of a big topic, but what have you wanted to say
Oh, just on content in general?
on anything? Yeah, on what we talked about with Yeon or in content in general.
I mean, I think people in general just want to see the insights of a team, especially
Yeah.
fans of the team, and I think people like drama in like anything, any type of drama. It could be good or bad, and they just want to see people hanging out. I used to watch like TSM Legends back in the day, a lot of it. I've seen like all of season 1 through 5, pretty much. But yeah, I mean, I'm not the biggest person on content. Like I don't do the most amount of
Sure.
content myself.
Why don't you stream?
Why don't I stream?
Yeah.
I just don't really enjoy it that much. I've been doing more like this year, like than I normally do. But for me, I get very tired from streaming. Like I feel like the need to interact, I guess, when I stream and when I do a lot of interacting after scrims. I'm already really tired from the scrim day. I
Yeah.
kind of just want to like play. Also, like in general, I feel like I do talk a lot when I'm trying to interact, and then I lose focus, especially if I'm trying to like learn a new champ or something. Those are the reasons why like I don't really stream.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think I probably should stream. Like it's good for me. It's good for people to see, like my content in general. But
Sure.
I don't know. It's just not something that I like that much.
Busio, you streamed a fair bit in the past, but you're not super consistent anymore.
I have like phases. I think maybe last split I was streaming pretty consistently. Like probably for like 2 weeks I streamed almost every day after scrims. And I like it once I'm in the routine of it. But I'm always told it's like very rewarding, but it doesn't feel like that. You know, like my viewers don't really go up that much, and like it's like cool, but it doesn't feel as rewarding as like other people tell me it should be. But my biggest problem is I don't know what to do in queue. Because on this server, sometimes queue times are ridiculous. Like you get a 20-minuter, and it's just like I feel like I need to entertain these people, but I just don't got juice in me, guys.
Yeah,
like
that's how I feel.
I don't know what to do.
I mean, I completely agree. That's
Yeah.
like the part of me as well. Like I have two parts. The main thing was like I'm just doing nothing in queue, listening to music. Like, what am I supposed to do, man? It's so awkward.
Yes.
I've been playing the card game on the League client recently. When I'm streaming in between
Okay,
in
okay.
between the thing. Yesterday I waited in like a 35-minute queue
Yeah.
for a game, and then my game bugged out. So
Oh no.
it was
Oh.
terrible. But
Last night I was playing League, and the server shut down once I got in Champs Like. I waited like 25 minutes. I'm playing the last game of the night, and I get in Champs Like, and it dodges, and I'm like, what? I didn't dodge. And then I
Yeah.
log back in, server's down. I'm like, okay, dude.
Yeah, I think you got Core in APA's game. They were like
Oh,
right next to me. And they're
really?
Like, I was like, what the fuck? Our champs like bugged.
Yeah, it was bad.
Damn, that sucks. So no solution necessarily. But at least, I mean, I think there's a lot of times there's a bigger conversation of why you guys don't stream or why NA pros don't stream. And those are pretty valid-ish reasons. I do agree, like, at this stage of streaming, the most successful streamers are the ones that can full-time it. I think it's probably the same in a lot of media, like the biggest Instagram accounts, biggest podcasts. It's like the ones that can actually full-time it. And the fact that 8 hours of your day, 6 days a week is already spoken for with team content will then make it hard to compete with full-time streamers. That especially like consistency, brand, one tricks, like all those things can boost stream viewers. So it's very hard. And then you add on top of it the entertainment factor and the queue times. It does become very difficult. Do you think streaming scrims could change that? Or would you have to be at an extreme level of consistency and then also have the personality? Because everyone points to like Kadril's team, Los Fortones. Yeah. But one, they were already, generally half of them were like full-time streamers anyway. Their competitive schedule wasn't necessarily as demanding with how many scrims they needed to put in. And I was going somewhere with this. But then they also don't talk about the other teams that were in the NLC that didn't pop off like Kadril's team, right? Yeah. There was, I think, Santorin also was doing exactly the same thing. Didn't see a huge increase in viewership. I don't know. Are these things you're thinking about, or is it just my content brain?
I mean, like Kadril's team is the perfect.
It's the perfect
creation, you know,
of everything. Yeah.
Yes. So like that's why they're so successful. I mean, for us, we streamed one day of scrims, and it was like hard to get used to. But then after that, I'm like, I'm down to do this more. And I think for it to work, we'd have to do it more consistently, like once a week. I think
at least
would be solid
on a consistent day.
Yes, but maybe more would be detrimental to practice. But like once a week would be fine, and I'd be down to commit to that. So,
okay,
Yeon, come on.
TL gonna stream scrims?
I don't
anytime
think we
soon?
have any plans of streaming scrims, unfortunately.
Even though your team put out the most viral pieces of content so far with the Yeon APA argument. Imagine if we saw that live.
We don't do that at all. It was a straight off a loss kind of a thing as well.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't think for TL, I think we just don't want to share anything. More than anything, I don't really. It would feel more like a show match if we scrimmed it. It doesn't feel like serious professionalism for me. Maybe I'm wrong, but same thing for me on streaming. I feel like I think about more of the content aspect of it if I'm streaming instead of like actually playing the game. And I feel bad, especially for my viewers, when I stream and I can't like do it and I lose my train of thought sometimes.
Because it makes you play worse, or because you can't interact with
just
the
feel
chat?
bad for the chat mostly.
Yeah. It is a separate skill that you have to develop. It's like the first time you went from solo queue to playing in a team environment, there was that like, you probably play a lot worse when you're trying to talk, like even to your own teammates during the game. And then it's an extra layer of like, how do you make this checking chat periodically and making reactions not drastically impact my gameplay in a negative way?
Yeah, you just have to get used to it. Like the first time I boot up stream after a long break, it feels weird. But then on the 10th day streaming in a row, it's like very natural. So I play better. But yeah, you just got to get used to it, I would say.
All right. Thanks. That was a bit of a tangent on content, but it's just something that has been pretty interesting when I was watching EU Masters and Lost for Tones. I'm like, how can we take a small bit of this and make it into LTA viewership? But I need to do a selfish thing that maybe our viewers would like, because I've actually been playing more League lately, and I'm having a hard time climbing in solo queue.
Okay.
So since you guys have played a lot of solo queue, what are your like number one tips for climbing?
What role are you playing?
Yeah, what role?
So currently I'm jungling.
Okay, just
and I'm
terrible.
just
and I'm
free
just,
LP, bro.
change-
and I'm
no, just change
diamond
roles,
4.
change roles. It's terrible.
Diamond 4.
You're Diamond 4?
Yeah.
What are you playing? Are you playing the Fury jungle right now?
You should be playing a
You gotta get on that.
It gets banned like every game.
Yeah,
Okay, then you
yeah.
got to be playing
But yes,
some Gwen.
if it's up, I'll play Neferi.
Okay.
Gwen?
Yeah,
'Cause
Gwen's good.
I'm old, right?
Okay. Age
So-
doesn't matter, bro. You're good.
Just
grind.
saying, I have a lot of games on Amumu Nudir. So those have been my go-to.
Those are not good champs.
But they
right
don't
now.
seem very
They're
good
not
right now.
Are
Yeah.
you sure? In Diamond,
Nah.
surely Udir's
I mean,
broken.
surely
Okay,
if you're good
where
enough.
are you trying
Yeah.
to climb to? Like, what's the goal? Diamond 3 or?
No, I mean, I think I would like to end the year around like Diamond 2 or 1.
Okay.
So I'm not super ambitious, but that's
Yeah,
still pretty
you're
good.
fine then.
Because I basically didn't play that much for like probably since I quit TL like in 2021. It just burned me out of the game for a bit, but I've gotten back into it this year. So I'm climbing already.
I would
But-
just
Good
say,
job.
if you're a jungler, just full clear gank bot, you get double kill, go full clear again, go hit dragon. If you think you can kill their bot lane, go kill their bot lane.
Kill him again.
Should I,
kill him
should I
again?
ignore grubs just to gank bot lane?
It's meant you're
Well-
like attacking like 2 people at once, so like it's pretty good.
I always go grubs in
And
solo
solo
queue.
queue is like the best.
'Cause
thing
you get
to
more
do.
experience.
Yeah,
It's
it's
the
the
worst.
worst.
You have to get the grubs in solo queue because you get
Oh,
way more
shit.
experience.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
no one does drakes in NA solo queue. Like in Korean solo queue, they'll do the drakes.
Correct.
But like in NA solo queue, even if they can't win, they'll come fight you.
Yeah.
And then you'll not only get extra speed from the grubs, you'll get like a free camp from the enemy jungler who's
Yeah.
triggered. Because like they don't play like tanks in solo queue. They'll
Yeah.
play like carry junglers like Udyr, for example, or Hecker. Udyr's kind of tank, but like they'll play some sort of carry jungle, okay? And then if you get the grubs, you're up in XP.
You're up a level.
I think in Diamond 3 they'll get triggered. Like
Yeah.
like you're in their head mentally, okay? Already. When they see you're up a whole level, like at least when I was in Diamond 3, that's how I was taking it in the jungle.
Yeah.
So I think
Do you have to mute your team because they died to the gank while you're killing grubs?
you have to mute your team no
Okay.
matter what. Like
Okay.
if you're playing a weak jungler like Nafiri or Gwen in the early game, you must mute your team. Okay, it's only useful to not mute your team if you're playing like Rek'Sai, something like this. Okay,
Right, because you need to actually set
for
up
example, like
ganks.
you're like when I'm playing Gwen in NA solo queue, they think I'm going to gank or like be useful if I help them, but I'm not going to be that useful. You know, like
Yeah.
I need my items.
Yeah.
and then you just have to mute them.
So-
junglers, man.
This guy.
Yeah, this is
delusion.
This is a real bad jungle conversation.
Don't listen.
Well, hold on. I'll
Don't
get to
listen.
you in a second. I'll get to you in a second. So one thing I've been doing, I Raptor start a lot of the time.
Okay.
Right? You go Raptors, Krugs, Red.
I never start Raptors.
You never
solo
start because I can cycle level 6 with
No,
so
no,
go
but
Raptors,
the Ra-
Krugs.
Raptor start. I think in solo queue is bad because something's gonna happen. Someone will be low or inting, or someone will be making a fight,
And you wanna
then-
get that free
and I want to
kill.
be in the fight, but if I go to the fight, now I've just lost my Raptors. So I don't like starting
Right,
Raptors
because
in
they
solo.
respawn too quickly.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the enemy jungler's gonna take it. So even if I get a kill, let's say I kill someone,
Will you almost
not really
always
work.
will you almost always gank pre scuttle crab? Like you'll do your full clear and then go ganking lane if it's there, or
I mean I'm not gonna gank if there's nothing to gank.
sure, but like you're gonna do 6 camps and then you'll look.
I mean, most of the times I'll full clear in solo queue,
Yeah.
but sometimes depending on my champ, I'll gank after 3 camps if I want to be funny.
Probably pretty rare though.
It's pretty rare, yeah. It's
Yeah,
pretty rare.
okay.
But I don't like starting chickens because if there's action in solo queue, you want to go to the action, but then you lose your Raptors for free.
Yeah.
And if you don't go to the action, your teammate will tilt. Like if I don't
Yeah.
go to the action and I go to my chickens, like they're not going to understand that I'm going to lose my second chickens and maybe my Krugs if
Right.
I go to this gank, right? So they'll be tilted. So you have to go,
Yeah. Okay.
and then now you've just lost. Like
Is there
maybe
a
2 games.
specific invade that you would do every game because it's most likely to work?
I don't
Because
I
there's
don't, I don't
spot?
use the invade in solo queue
Okay, you
because
just-
like I think I'm better than the average player in that game.
So lower
if my
variance.
game is consistent, I will just win.
Yeah. But for me,
That's how I
since
feel.
I'm not better,
Maybe
Like I'm
invading.
at
is
my
fine.
elo.
Okay, a invade I do is you just like ward somewhere in the river on the side of your chickens, and then you just do your chickens, and then you just run to their blue buff. You will they will almost always smite their blue buff, and then you can smite their Raptors from them or Gromp from them.
oh, I see.
And
yeah.
then they will be very, very.
That would
annoying.
tilt them, like,
yeah,
instantly.
they'll tilt it like crazy. They'll be crazy tilted.
Okay, what shouldn't I have listened to Blaber about?
Okay, like if you're trying to be low effort and just focus on yourself, you can mute all. But if
Yeah.
you're really trying to climb, you need to be like the team mood lifter. Like when people
Isn't that hard to do as a jungler though? Because
No, no, no,
everyone
no.
wants your help.
No, no.
Sometimes it's like,
Like a support, you can be a mood
I
lifter.
watch
no.
his stream sometimes, and he's like trying to lift the mood of his team.
Bro, if you're playing Nefiri full clearing while your team's getting jungle diffed, because that's just how the game works, like you gotta say, guys, don't worry. Even if you guys are losing lane, I'm broken later. I picked OP champ.
Yeah.
Don't FF.
Yeah.
Because like your team's
They
gonna
won't
get
FF, bro.
tilted.
It's NA. They're not FFing even if you don't say anything.
Okay, but they're gonna like keep inting, keep trying. Just say,
Yeah.
try your best not to die. I know it's hard,
Just the we scale.
and let me carry later because I
Yeah.
didn't gank. Like you need to negotiate with them. Like please, just stop inting one time.
You think
And at
negotiation
15, 20
is worth
minutes,
the effort?
If you're trying to win, if you're
I
just
am
trying to
trying to
improve,
win.
you don't have to do this. But if you're trying to
Okay.
raise your win rate by another 5-10%,
Yeah, I am.
you got to do it. You got to.
Also, sorry, one sec. Can we pause for like a second? I really have to use the bathroom. Okay, thank you.
Yes. We're almost done as well.
Junglers, man. Now that he's gone, we can actually talk about the game. Honestly, I don't jungle.
Yeah.
Like the only time I jungle was in like Lee Sin was meta, and you just go around killing people. Like no full clear, no nothing. Just 3 camps gank is my favorite.
What about when I get filled to support? Because currently I just play. I just ask what my AD carry's playing. If it's something that's good with Lulu, I play Lulu. If it's not, I play Alistair, and just roam.
Yeah. I mean, if you're
That seems
playing
fine.
Lulu, make sure to not push too hard level 1. Keep the wave as even as possible so then
Yeah.
you can really use your strength level 1. You know, like walk out of the bush,
Yeah.
auto walk back in. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're playing Lulu, you need to be a menace level
You
1.
actually need to harass a lot.
You're so strong level 1.
Do you ever eat the opponent, or do you always eat yourself?
I mean, it just depends. Like, okay, how much Lulu do you play?
Like 10 total games this year.
Okay, we got to get more. But
Yeah.
so what you can do
That
is
many.
you can queue, and then your E lasts 4 seconds. So then
Yeah.
once they're trying to leave, you E when your next Q is 4 seconds from being up, and then you can get another Q. So like Q,
Oh, I
don't use your
see.
E, and then you have an EQ at the end.
Yeah. So you have to queue from like decent range. and then you just auto trade.
Yeah, and then you can E at the end for your next Q, or just do what's useful. Like if you're in the bush and the ADCs are trading on the upper side of the lane,
Yeah.
just E your ADC. You know,
Yeah, of
And,
course,
help
because the
push
shield is
EQ.
going to be more important no matter what because it resists.
Yes, because like effectively true damage or
Yeah.
like true shield.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of how I see it.
Yeah, but it just depends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're the pro support, so I'm going to take your advice.
Yeah, I mean, just make sure you're owning lane as Lulu.
Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't it
Okay.
just easier to play Karma if you're like a gold, silver, or it's like silver, gold, diamond, or like player trying to climb?
Surely it doesn't scale as well because
Yeah,
Lulu
but,
is just like
it's just an easier. I feel like it's just an easier champion
It
to
depends
play.
on the game. Yeah.
I feel like it's just easier to play, and like if you're like a diamond or like platinum player, like if you just play Karma, you just Q
Yeah.
Q R Q shield
Yeah.
your teammates. You just have way less burden on yourself.
Yeah. I mean,
Like I understand a challenger player like playing like Lulu's just climb.
Yeah.
If you're like a diamond player, I would recommend Karma. No, wouldn't you?
that's true. Lulu has more like early game micro
Right.
that actually matters.
But can't you still win on Lulu without dominating lane because you're just going to have
Yeah, but
shields later?
like I don't know, you don't scale like that well
Okay.
as Lulu in that way.
Yeah.
Like obviously your polymorph can still be useful later or your
Yeah.
ult, but it's very comp dependent. Like Karma's just always going to be stable and useful most of the time.
Yeah, okay.
Jan, but should he play damage Karma or shield Karma?
Honestly, I think both are pretty OP right now.
Yeah.
If you're playing support to climb,
Yeah.
you can play.
But you're
whatever.
telling him to play Karma over Lulu?
I'm saying when I get
It's just easier, I feel
filter
like, to play
support,
if
what's
you're
the
like a
easiest
diamond
way?
player.
Lulu
Yeah,
has
I
more
don't think
early
so.
micro.
No, okay, but
Yeah.
okay, listen, like the best way to climb.
Okay, but he's a jungler. He
No, listen.
loves Lulu.
Oh, yeah,
Listen,
true.
listen.
He gets
Lulu's
Lulu's
good.
good.
He's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
His jungler
the
perspective.
best way to win games is to not die. And
is
Karma,
true.
you will die much more often than Lulu. That's my opinion. Because on Karma, you're gonna try to play aggressive because that's
Yeah.
how your champ works. And you don't have as many tools to peel yourself as Lulu.
Yep.
And Lulu's way better at buffing the jungler.
Okay, there we go.
There we go. The most important part.
Yeah, Lu's got 3 buttons she can use on the jungler.
But Karma has so much range.
Yeah.
You just mantra Q
you
and
have
shield
to
your
play
teammates.
like you actually have to do stuff on Karma, in my opinion. Like
Right.
I don't know, like you're gonna try to play lane too aggressive. You're gonna die to the level 4 like
No,
Hecarim
no,
gank
no.
after the
You're
full clear.
just
But, like,
wrong.
as a jungle- as a
NA
jungle
players
man-
do not play aggressively. Like it's way easier to play passively on Karma. I feel like just like arc you from range.
Really? I feel like it's so much easier to play passive than Lulu. Like, you only think you have to play aggressively on Lulu because you guys are good players. But when you're
See,
bad
yes,
players,
yes, this is-
you
Okay,
won't
okay.
feel the need to play aggressively on Lulu. You'll just sit there and, like, press Q on them when they walk forward, and then press W or E on your ADC.
Nah, then just play Sona or Zillion. If you're, gonna if you're just
No, no.
behind your ADC,
Those shields are
AFK,
useless.
as a
Those shields are
jungle- as a
useless.
if you're
jungle
gonna
main-
AFK, just play Sona.
As a jungle main, or for all those out there that are just filled to support, like you want the easy. Because I've noticed this other thing that they've done with enchanters now.
Yeah.
Like Nami, Melio, Lulu, the like hard ability you just put 1 point in. Like,
No, you should
Okay.
Q max
Okay, how
Melio.
about-
It's so much fun.
Okay, how about this?
but no, that's not
It
what
one
most
shots
people
and has
do.
aimbot.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
how about this? How about this? How about this? We challenge you guys to play 10 games of Karma and Lulu each, and you tell us
Oh, which
you,
one's
Jan.
harder?
which one you climb with more.
Oh,
The
okay.
fans?
I mean,
Yes,
I
the
can try
fans.
it.
Okay,
I can
This is
try
a
that.
fan thing, no?
No, I'll try it. I'll let you know.
You got us?
Who did I? Yeah, because I'll just track the elo gain loss. Although I already have, I'll have to play like warm up games on Karma.
Okay, okay.
And then I'll let you know.
I'm on the Karma
Yeah.
side. It's easier.
I'm
so-
gonna definitely lose elo because I'm a jungler, so this is gonna hurt. Okay, well thanks for that. I think that's all the easy climbing tips. Yeah.
But on Alistar, what runes are you going? Do you swap it up or you just
Jeez,
Aftershock
I swap
default?
it up. I swap it up.
Okay, good,
It's
good.
either phase rush or aftershock, depending
Okay.
on.
You can also go
on what I want.
glacial sometimes.
You should go the Busio tech, the Hex
about
tech, Proto
electrocute?
Belt, electrocute.
Oh, yeah. I
I mean, he actually has good ratios,
yeah, of course.
but I just go Heartsteel if I want to be greedy.
What?
Yeah.
Come on, Jatt.
Again, I don't play support that much.
You can't go Heartstell in Alistar now.
Get like a
Not
Trailblazer
anymore.
or something.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Be useful.
That's some dark tech. I don't want to see your Alistar win rate.
60%.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
not bad.
Nice.
I guess I am a better support than jungler, but
I think if you
based
didn't,
on the win rates.
if you didn't
Okay.
go Heartstell,
Yeah.
I think you would have an 80%.
Yeah.
I think that win rate might be going up.
Those are some dark games. Again, not a good player right now. I'll let you know. I think that's pretty much it. But there's a little bit of the like gameplay changes. Nefiri, Darius, Yorick, like all these weird junglers that have been making their way in solo queue. I know Darius got super nerfed. Yorick's getting a rework. But like, do you think this stuff is going to be pretty disruptive for the pro scene, or are they too weird and solo queue specific to make its way into pro?
Well, I think Nefiri is pretty OP right now.
Nefiri's just broken.
In general, like I'll see after the nerfs next patch, because I don't think we're able to scrim on that patch for a couple days.
Right.
But I'll see after the nerfs. But I think right now it's very strong. I mean, Darius, I think is after the monster damage nerfs.
It's weak.
I mean, it's not weak, but like it's not OP.
Okay.
Like you kind of have to be OP as a jungler if you have no CC no real gank and you just want to like you're just running forward face first basically. You have to be kind of OP or you have to clear really fast. Like you need to like have something if you have no CC as a jungler.
Yeah.
And then for Yorick, I haven't read the changes, but I already told my team that I will be spamming it because I mean, look what they did in the Fury. They'll probably do the same thing. Yorick is like the new Rumble and Morgana. So like,
Fair.
let's just see what happens.
Yeah. Awesome. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? Or do you want to go play solo queue and play 2v2s with each other?
Yeah, me and Yeon are gonna 2v2 after this.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. That's what we learned. Okay, thanks guys for joining us on Pros. LTA is going to be back soon. April 5th is the start of Split 2, and we'll see you there.